I can't remember, oh my god, I can't remember what was in the portfolio. I made like 3, so give me a minute. So hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm so excited because I'm doing a college accepted art portfolio. Now, I just want to preface this by saying that these are not my favorite pieces. I definitely have pieces that I love even more, but the time crunch that I made this in was ridiculous. So I applied to Dawson here in Montreal, Canada. Dawson has been my dream school for years. My best friend's been a student at Dawson for quite a long time now, and I remember one time I went with her to go print some of her artwork, and the minute that I stepped into that school, I fell in love. And a few years later, about a year and a half later, I applied and I got in. Dawson has been my goal since I stepped in that school, and I cannot believe that this September I'm gonna be a student finally. By the way, you guys can skip to the actual art showing. Here's the timestamp. But if you guys want to stay for a little story time, then thank you for that. So I've been doing my schooling at an adult school, finishing my high school diploma since the end of 2017 up until 2021. As some of you guys know, I dealt with an eating disorder the majority of my high school, so I was in the hospital for months on end. I'd come back for about a week and I'd go back for more months. When I was 16 years old, approaching the last year in high school, for the first time I had to do final exams. The previous years they had just passed me, seeing as I wasn't there and I was still enrolled as a student. I had like the hospital green card. My school was so sweet. At the time, I had so much anxiety and I didn't want to be held back. I didn't want to be seen at school, so I just dropped out until I picked myself back up and I decided to continue my education, because education is so ridiculously important to me. I mentioned in the last vlog that I had a lot of indecisiveness where I wanted to be a scientist, a microbiologist, a nutritionist, but my original plan was always art. And when I found Dawson, it just reinstalled the love of art back in me. So in the end, I applied for 2 programs. I applied for 3D animation and design, which was technically my first pick, but it wasn't on paper my first pick. I also applied for graphic design and I set that as the first pick. So when I found out that I was going to be eligible to apply, I had about 3 months to pick a program and make a portfolio for that program. In the end, I had 3 top picks of 3D animation, graphic design, and just basic arts. Judging on my past with schooling, I thought that I wasn't going to get into my top pick of 3D animation, so I focused my energy on graphic design and the basic arts program. Come to find out, 2 days before the deadline of application of March 1st, I tried to apply for the basic arts program and graphic design, but applying for that pair of picks didn't work out. I had to pick something else to go with graphic design. So I shot my shot and I applied for 3D animation and graphic design. The problem was that I hadn't created the 3D animation portfolio. So I knew that I had about 36 hours to create an entire portfolio for the top program at this school. So I put everything against the wall and I actually did it. I honestly believe that I would have gotten in to 3D animation if I would have put this as my first pick. But when I got the acceptance for graphic design later on, they were withholding reviewing my 3D animation portfolio for the answer of the first program. Side note, I am so beyond happy to be in the graphic design program. Graphic design is still one of my top picks. So I might actually end up loving it more than I would have loved 3D animation, but we will see in September. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys my graphic design portfolio, and I'm going to try to the best of my abilities to show you guys my 3D animation and design portfolio as well. Now, I did give away some of my art pieces to my boyfriend. I don't know where I put the rest, so I will really try to the best of my abilities to find photos at least and put them on the screen. So here is the pile of drawings that I did for graphic design. Now, graphic design had very specific criteria of requirements. I think I was making 3 to 4 art pieces a day. And in all reality, creating the entire portfolio, I did wait till the very last minute to really create the portfolio. So I had about 2 weeks of creating this portfolio and 2 days of creating the 3D animation portfolio. So the first two pieces I had to do were anatomy drawings, and they were movement anatomy sketches. So I picked these two positions because I found them very interesting, and this was the first time that I did a full body sketch in motion, especially in graphite. I can't remember the last time that I drew a human body, if I have ever drawn a human body. So the first drawing is this girl that's in mid-kick, and I like this pose because it was very irregular. Like, her hair was flying and the shadows of her face were very difficult to draw, so I definitely liked the challenge. And just focus on showing my ability to draw movement and muscle tone in the body. And the second one that I drew for motion was this one because I really liked the position that she was in, and you could see the abs really well. You could see the length of her hair compared to the last photo. It was really interesting, and I surprised myself with how I could actually draw a body and a face in graphite on paper that wasn't necessarily the best. The next drawing I have in the next criteria that they asked for was drawing architecture. So this is how the exterior architecture of a house type of sketch turned out. Again, this is the very first time that I did buildings, especially in graphite, to show depth. So the next two drawings that they asked for weren't in graphite. They had asked for an interior perspective of your bedroom and another angle of your bedroom. So I did these two in pastel, in oil pastel, because I absolutely love oil pastel. It's mainly just playing around with color to create the depth. Because you can't really do a lot of detail with oil pastel. So I drew my bedroom at the time before I had my neon sign, and I really like how this one turned out. Again, photo on the screen. And then I drew this perspective of my door with the eye, and I really actually like how these two turned out. And the last two sketches that I did that they asked for in graphite was an observation drawing of feet. I don't do a lot of human anatomy, so when I drew these, I was very happy with how they turned out. I unapologetically love this drawing because, I don't know, feet just are really interesting to me, and getting to draw them and forcing myself to draw them was really fun. And the last figure observation that I had to do was my hand. So this was when I used to wear my little snake ring, and I had to do my little tattoo as well. And the lighting that I took it in was really dark, so the shadows really showed really well. If you guys can't tell, it's this hand with a little tattoo over here when I had my snake ring. So I really love this drawing, and I have them above my desk because just the random look of like human anatomy and nothing in the background is really pleasing to me. I like this type of art, and I would definitely do this more often. For the other drawings, I'm going to show them on the screen right now. I have them saved on my computer, but I couldn't necessarily find the original copies. And for the 3D animation program, this is the portfolio where I had the most fun doing in the least amount of time. So if I did have more time, I feel like I definitely would have been able to add more than I did. So the first thing that they asked for was a character sketch from pure imagination. Now, I've never ever done a character sketch from imagination. I've only ever done realism, and the few times that I've done a character sketch was based off of a cool photo that I saw, and then I did it in my own style, in my own way, like as inspiration. So I ended up doing this little fairy character over here, and it looks terrible, okay? Like, not close up, it looks really bad. But this took me so long because once again, like, I didn't do character sketches a lot, and so I really tried to make it whimsical. I did this fairy girl, and I made her eyes kind of transparent because I really like that really, like, I don't know, that fairy whimsical like aesthetic in a sense. So this was the character sketch, and I added some white paint just to make it look a little bit more interesting. For the character sketch, I also did another one showing her whole body, the same character that I drew, and I don't have it with me. It's one of my favorite drawings, and I can't remember where I put it. But I will put a photo on the screen. I did her sitting on a mushroom. It's one of my favorite mushrooms to draw. I also did a graphic little drawing, and I posted it on my Instagram, so I'm going to show it right here. But I love digital art. That's another thing that I got into after I applied for the portfolio. So I started making little drawings on my iPad and posting them on Instagram after I did the portfolio. So I'm definitely in love with graphic design, so maybe this is the perfect program for me. And one of the last things that they asked for the character sketch was a clay sculpture of the character. So I did the entire scenery of her sitting down on the mushroom. I built the mushroom out of clay. I made it out of Sculpey clay. I painted it and I had her sitting on top with her hair flowing over the mushroom. And then I glued it on a slab of wood and put moss and rocks all around. I have a photo, but this is one of the pieces that I did give away to my boyfriend. I believe that I put this drawing, this Prismacolor pencil drawing of a fish that I did quite a long time ago. It's only been like a year, in the portfolio as well. And again, it's one of my favorite drawings, so I did put this in here. I'm not quite sure if I'm allowed, but I had the date on here anyways. So I believe that I also put some pen sketches in the portfolio as well. These were done all out of pen, and I believe that I put this in the portfolio too. I'm not quite sure. I also have some more pastel, oil pastel drawings over here. I believe that one of these were also in the portfolio, but again, I can't really remember. And this is also one of the drawings that I submitted. It was a pen drawing that I did. A really cute photo of this couple, so I decided to draw them and put them in there. So one of the really big pieces of art, I'm going to show you guys now what I was going to put in the portfolio, but I ended up not last minute because they were asking for very specific types of art, so I tried to go with a theme in my portfolio rather than show my personal favorites. So this was one of the paintings that I was going to put in the portfolio. It's a painting that I did of a pack of cigarettes, and I don't paint very often, and I did this using acrylic paint. I tried to make it look like it was done from oil paint, so this is how it turned out. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is a huge piece. Like, this took me, I think, around a day and a half to do. So this is another painting that didn't end up making it in the portfolio, but it was a stylized rendition of a bowl of ramen, and I wish that I would have done the background a different color. I made it this forest green to amplify the colors of the food, but I feel like I could have done a better job if I would have put a different color. So this is another piece that didn't make it in the portfolio. So another piece that I finished quite recently but I didn't include in the portfolio was this one. It is a Prismacolor drawing, trying to the best of my abilities to show the lighting, but I used some gold paint to do her glasses, so when you move it around, it like really reflects. This was real gold leaf paint. I think I paid like $30 for a bottle this big. Another drawing that I did include in the portfolio was this drawing of an eye that I did at school, at Place Cartier, the adult education center that I was going to. This is just a graphite rendition of a photo, a royalty-free photo that we got to choose in class and draw. So this did take me quite some time to do. So yeah, this was done primarily using a 3B, 6, 7, 8, and 9B pencils. Oh my god, so many drawings everywhere. I did work on a lot of different art pieces throughout the creation of these two portfolios, thinking that they were gonna make it into the final portfolio, but a lot of them sadly didn't make it. When I was making the cut for what was going to go in the final portfolio, like I said, I tried to keep a generic or general theme to the portfolio, and I tried to go off based on what they were asking. So I believe that is it for my Dawson accepted art portfolio. I was so beyond stressed and so excited to create this portfolio, and the stress continued from March up until the end of April, early May. And when I found out that I got in, I remember I screamed, I was shaking, I was jumping, I called my boyfriend, I ran up to my parents, and I almost started crying, and my dad was like, good job, which meant so much to me because my dad's also an artist, an amazing artist, and one of the best artists I've ever seen, really. And for him to say that, it hit home. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the mess of the art that I had created. So I can't wait to be making art college vlogs for you guys. I'm addicted to art college vlogs. I love you guys so very much. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and that bell notification if you guys want to see more uploads and see more of me. You guys can also follow me on Instagram to follow my art and my daily activities. Continue being inspired, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!